What is going on, man? Spideyverse. I'm back at it. I haven't been to a fair or a con in way over a year, and it's time. We have a public holiday today. It's Tuesday morning, and we're here in Yarraville on the other side of the city, and hopefully we run into some awesome people, some friends, some new friends, and pick up some cool books. So stay tuned and see what happens. Let's go.
Doors are open, everyone. Doors are open.
Alright, so we're back home after the Yarraville Comic and Toy Fair. Was a good fun couple of hours. Obviously it ran from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. We only stayed for I think about 2 hours. As you can see, most of my con footage or fair footage is always like B-reel style, so just to sort of show you what the con looks like. I probably should have got a little bit of guest cameos, because there was Simple Simon was there. He was actually selling. Mark from Big City Comics, obviously his cohort in their noob video series that they do on Simon's channel. Dave from Still Only 35 Cents was there. Beau from Aussieverse was there, and a little bit later rocked up Sean from Zaz Collectibles and Comics. And obviously there was the dealers and that I already know. Some of them were like, where the fuck have you been? And some of them were like, yeah, just good to see you sort of thing. So it was good to catch up with obviously the YouTube guys, and obviously great to catch up with the dealers. And just meet some awesome new people and new dealers as well. So yeah, it was a fun day. I blew pretty much all my money, but I said I was going to do that, and when I started talking about it, especially on Spidey's Outback, because I was looking forward to it, I was just like, I'm going to take out some money, whatever money I have. I think I still came back with about $100, so I could have blown a little bit more, but yeah, I did take a little bit with me. So I did get a small stack of books, as you can see. Most of it is filling some holes in some runs. And there's one sort of, and for me, I will say this for me, obviously not a general consensus, but there is one, what I would classify as a decent sized book. And there's another one, which will be the last book, which I personally would classify as a big boy book. So I will show you what I picked up, and yeah, super happy. I wish I had been able to pick up more, but I don't know, there just seemed to be a lot that I wanted, but not stuff that was enough that was like, yeah, I got to have that sort of now sort of thing. And there was a couple of books there that were way out of my price range that I really, really wanted. They were still actually reasonably priced for Australia, surprisingly enough. But yeah, my one regret from this con is not getting some footage with the YouTube boys. That was probably the main thing that I did. Even though I always do B style, B real style, I would have loved to at least sort of, you know, got them in the shots and that. But you will see my ugly mug probably in an Aussieverse video and probably in a still only 35 cents video. Maybe a Simple Simon one, but he was mainly selling, so it was probably hard for him to do footage, but he probably did something knowing him. But anyway, let's get stuck into the books. That's what you've all come to see what I picked up. So, as I mentioned, it was one of my last Mad Mail calls where I've got a few back issues that I've compiled with my mate Michael from Sydney. And he's so I've just got a small deal sort of going on at the moment. So I realized that I've actually got quite a bit of a Submariner run, like the first volume Submariner run, and obviously I got quite a few books from him. So I picked up some more today, actually. I didn't do any research, unfortunately, before I started taping this, so by all means, if you can tell me anything about the book, if it's any key issue for any first appearances or, you know, events or anything like that, please let me know in the comments below. But here are the books. So we got the Savage Submariner, or Submariner number 70. Most of these books are sort of mid to low grade. Like, this is fairly clean, actually. And I think it was like $5 or $10 or something like that, so that's actually fairly reasonable for over here. Usually Silver Age back issues are generally 20 or more. So yeah, super happy to fill some holes in my Submariner run. This is about the same, probably a tiny bit lesser grade, but still fairly clean. Submariner number 63. And as I said, if you know anything about the books themselves, please let me know in the comments below. Obviously, when I'm adding them into my CLZ, I'll see it anyway, but it's always good to know. This one's, I think most of the Submariner books, I think, were all around the $10 mark. Obviously, I bought a few books from this particular dealer, and it's the guy that actually runs the show, Billy, and he gave me a good deal anyway. I think I picked up 5 or 10 books off him or something like that, and yeah, he gave me a cracking deal, as he always does. This one's a little lesser grade. I think this one was around the same price. Submariner number 61. So it looks like. I was trying to. Dr. Hydro. Okay. I thought it was somebody else for a second then. Submariner number 54. Like fighting an octopus man. So as I said, yeah, most of these are mid to lower grades. The two bigger books are fairly low grade, but I did get a deal on them, but you will see them soon. So that's it for the Submariner stuff. I did put a little bit of a hole. I've been talking about my Defenders run. Obviously, there's a few runs I'm trying to do, and I wanted to start diving back into my Defenders run. So got some of the later issues when it started changing names. So this will be Defenders 152, or at this stage of the run, that's the new Defenders. So yeah, nice to, I know my boy Cliff NY, Cliffy boy, he loves his Defenders run as well, so he will love these if he watches this. So Defenders 113, he may already have these anyway, but yeah, I actually have probably more of the like earlier stuff than I do, like, except for some of the bigger boy books, but not that there's really massive big boy books in the Defenders run, but I have probably more of the older stuff from the like sub 100 to I think the 100 plus. So Defenders number 47, so starting to get a little bit lower in number. Very, very cool thing there. It looks like Moon Knight, Valkyrie, and Hellcat fighting Wonder Man. So there you go. That was when Wonder Man was a baddie by the looks of it. Defenders number 29. That's a pretty cool cover. As I said, I think most of these were around that sort of $10 mark as well. 10 to sort of 15, I think. But yeah, fairly decent copies. Not that I'm too fussed, as I said. I'm a low-grade collector all day. This one comes with a huge shout out. My boy Sean, Zaz Comics and Collectibles. If you don't know who he is, I'm going to leave his link in the description below. Another fellow Aussie, super nice guy, fantastic collection. Please go and sub him up. He actually went over to, he did another trip to the States and he actually picked me up a book, and it was Defenders number 1. So I think I have, I'd like to say Defenders, I think 3 to 10, but I don't have 1 or 2. And I don't have the Marvel features either, which is painful, but yeah, just to knock that number 1 off is absolutely fantastic. So a massive shout out to Sean. Thank you very much, mate. I greatly appreciate that. So that was fantastic. Bit of a random book sort of. And some of these, as I said, some of these came from Billy, who's the organizer of the show. He knows pretty much what I'm collecting and what I like. And I'm going through the Submariner stuff and things like that and the Defenders that he has. And then he just throws this book in front of me. He goes, oh, I think you need that or whatever like that. And I actually did. So it's Adventure into Fear. Now this is the small part where Morbius is in there. So it's number 25. I didn't actually have this. So, yeah, you made a very good call with chucking that in front of me. I'm like, yeah, I will take that. Thank you very much. So that was very cool of Billy there. Unfortunately, there was hardly any Tomb of Dracula and Werewolf by Night. But there was a couple, and a couple of people had some issues, but most of them I already had, obviously, because I'm getting down to the very few numbers now. But there was one Werewolf by Night that I needed. Very rough condition. It's got stamps and writing all over it, but for the price I paid for it, it fills up the gap in my Werewolf run, and that is Werewolf by Night, number 11. As you can see that, like, the faint stamps and that sort of stuff on there, but I didn't care. For the price I paid, it's another one off the list, so it gets my Werewolf run down one less book. So I was super happy about that. There was one book in particular that I've been talking about recently that I wanted to acquire. Now, I don't know whether I've beaten Rob Fatstacks to the punch, because I've missed some of Rob's, sorry Rob, I've missed some of Rob's Monday mail calls. But I know we're both going for an Invaders run, and I said, and we're both only one book off. Me, not anymore. Invaders number 12 was the one book I needed. Once again, sort of mid to low grade. There's some pens written on it and stuff like that, but it is Invaders number 12, the final issue that I needed. As you can see, like, there's, you know, somebody's written 35 cents there and all that sort of stuff there. This is the first appearance of Spitfire, which is the lovely lady in the middle there. So I have now officially finished my Invaders run, and that includes the king size and the giant size. So I have finished the entire run. So massive shout out to Rob Fatstacks, and a massive shout out to Dave from Still Only 35 Cents, because both of them have helped me complete this run. and put massive chunks in the holes that I needed. So yeah, super, super happy to finally... Invaders is done. I don't need to talk about Invaders anymore. I don't need to buy anymore. It's all done and dusted. So it actually feels fantastic to actually finish a run for once. Because if you know me, I'm going for a lot of runs and I never finish any of them. But it's great to finally do one. All right, we have 2 last books. So as I said, what I would classify as a semi... I wouldn't necessarily say a big boy book, but it is... If you know what I collect, I've said a few times before that I always want to try and get, if I can't get them all, I try and get at least one sub 10 book in every single Marvel Silver Age series. So obviously the Spidey and FF and Hulk and all that sort of stuff, and obviously the ones that started later as well, like your Silver Surfer, Captain America, Iron Man, and all that sort of stuff. I want at least one in the top 10. Obviously, with some of the other ones, like Captain America starts at 100. So obviously, I want to get something in the first 100 to 110, but something in the first 10, basically. I have now crossed off another one off that list, and it is from Daredevil. So I didn't have any. I think the lowest number I had, I think it was either Daredevil 10 or Daredevil 12 or something like that, but I didn't have anything sub 10. And I got number 2, which is actually the second appearance of Electro. So that's my first yellow suit book. It is a fairly low grade, but it is complete. I did actually open it up and check it out, check all the pages were there and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, it is a fairly low grade because there's a lot of sort of bad spine. I think it's one staple's partially detached, but it is all complete and I'm happy to own it. So Daredevil number 2 knocks off another one. So I think the only sub 10 Silver Age Marvel series I need now is FF. I think that's the only one I haven't got. So yeah, super, super happy to own that. And this is the big boy book. The big boy book for me. So you might say, oh, I've got 20 copies of this, or I bought that for $50 or whatever it is. But for me, this is a big boy book, and especially in Australia, it is not a cheap book to get a hold of. I saw this on the wall. Luckily, my boy, Dave from Still Only 35 Cents, was standing right next to me. And I'm like, do you think that's a fair price? And so we had a quick look. He had a look on his phone for me, and we're sort of having a look. And I'm like, if I'm going to be spending this kind of money, I want the book, but I don't want, and I was prepared to pay the price, but I didn't want to, at the same time, I wouldn't mind trying to get a deal or try to say, look, you know, maybe we'll do it at this price. So we had a look. We estimated the grade at maybe around a 3 to 4.5, maybe in a raw, obviously. So we had a look at Go Collect and all those sort of things. Dave pulled up all that information and he goes, mate, it actually is a fairly decent price, and especially for Australia it is. See if you can get a better deal. We did. The guy knocked $100 off the price, so that made me even more. I'm just like, yep, let's do the deal. And the book is Hulk 180. The first is first. The first appearance of Wolverine. Yes, first cameo, first full. First is first. So I now officially have 180 and 182. I don't have 181, which is the big dollar book, which is stupid, but it is the big dollar book. I will hopefully eventually get one, but yeah, super, super happy to get this. Obviously you can sort of see that there's a big sort of stress line right through there. There's another big stress line going across there. But it is complete. It has the Marvel value stamp, which if it didn't have it and that brought down the price, I was fine with that too. But it is complete, including the Marvel value stamp, and super, super happy to cross this one off the big boy list. This is from my big boy list. Obviously, I have some big boy books in there, but this is still a big boy book for me. So, super, super happy to get that. Yeah, finally. All right. Oh, one last thing before I end this. Obviously, Mrs. Spidey, if you don't know, she's a bit of a pin collector. She likes, so there was a store that had a lot of sort of little novelty pins and things like that. So she picked up a handful, and then she went back for more, stealing money out of my wallet. I want to get some more, and so she took some money and went and got some more. But she did get one for me. So we have, I think it's supposed to be Deadpool. I think it's Spidey, Deadpool, and Wolverine, but it's all sort of mushed together. It's a little bit hard to tell. But hang on, which way? This way. So yeah, just a cool little pin. She's like, oh, okay, you bought the rest of them, so I'll buy. I think it was like 3 for $20 or 3 for $30 or something. It was something like that. So the more you bought, obviously, the cheaper they were. So thank you to Mrs. Spidey for that. But yeah, that will do for this particular video. It's probably gone on way too long. Talking about books more and showing books more than actually showing footage. But yeah, thank you for stuck it out to the end. I greatly appreciate it. Great to be back at a con or a fair, whatever you want to sort of call it. And I am liking these smaller ones more than the bigger ones at the moment. So yeah, it was super happy to be able to do this. So anyway, do all the usual YouTube stuff for me. Hit the thumbs up on the way out. Leave a comment if you have any more information about the books that I bought, or if you want to just say, you know, anything else, that's fine. Greatly appreciate all the comments as well. But hit that subscribe button. I've noticed I've gained a few more subs lately, so I think I'm only about 18 or 19 subs away from that 700. So I want to finally do this giveaway. So please hit that subscribe button if you can. But anyway, long enough, waffled on long enough, as Simon likes to say, Simple Simon. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and Spidey out.